What's going on, YouTubers? With the shop again. Got a haircut, a little short. Anyways, story of the day. This is going to be pretty knowledgeable for somebody. Once again, C15 Cat, that's what I work on it. You got a fuel filter, the line comes out, goes at the transfer pump, and goes in this steel line and feeds your secondary. Primary, secondary. It goes from here, goes through a bunch of stuff, goes in the back of the head. Mine goes in the back of the head and then returns it back. What I found out, I replaced the atmospheric pressure sensor. The truck runs good. The fuel mileage went up. I'm almost getting 5 with a pod, with a cow pod, bull rack, whatever you want to call it. If regular blow Joe, let's say that way, my sounds mean, he would get in the truck and drive it. He says, well, everything's perfect, no problems whatsoever. What I'm doing at this point in time, it's basically, let's call this way, fine tuning, because I got the shop and I like to do this. Everything, how it's hard to explain. So everything from here, basically from here back to the tanks, works on a vacuum. You basically draw the fuel with the suction of this pump. So I had this pump right here, electric pump, was sitting right here. Some people see in my previous video, and I was pulling fuel through this filter as a vacuum and then pressurizing and feeding that pump. What I found out right here, as you can see, this is a glass bowl. Let me get it. This is the glass bowl. There's a fuel inside of it, where it is now. Right there, see it? There's actually fuel inside of the thing. This is just a tool you can see if you're getting any air in the fuel. So, yeah, some people think, well, replace your fuel lines if you're getting air. They all brand new, trust me. All these lines, they all brand new, they all soft, everything's fine. So if I put that tool before the fuel filter housing, primary one, which is a water separator, there's no air whatsoever. So I put that line back on, and I put the tool right here, the see-through glass deal or fuel line eye, some people call it a different name. If I put it after, I get a bunch of air coming there, like a lot. And I should have recorded, but I don't know how to add on the videos to make it. But trust me, it was getting a ton of fuel, a ton of air on the outlet side of it. So then I had an electric pump right here, and then I put this tool on the electric pump to feed that. So it did somewhat solve the problem by ended up being like no air, and then boom, a batch of air. Then I started noticing if I bump up the RPM and I'm standing right here and I'm looking at on this stool, I see through, when I get a plume of air on it, I get very, very little vibration on the engine. I says, well, that's air is messing with me. So I thought about it last night. I says, the right way to do it is go get a fast system, and the fast system actually will polish your fuel and separates the water from the fuel and gets the air out of it. Well, I really have no desire to spend that kind of money. And my previous truck, I did have a fast system, and they work outrageously, outstandingly good. They are actually good product the fast system makes us. So I got this electric pump right here. It's a Raptor fuel pump. They use this on the pickup trucks, but they, I believe they're 100 gallons per minute, which is plenty fuel delivery, to go through it. So what I ended up doing, I took the fuel pump from over there and I put it before my primary pump. Maybe it is hard on my fuel pump, electric fuel pump, but much as fuel we go through, driving on a daily basis, there's not that much water, there's not that much debris. Especially when you fill up, just see, I look into my tanks quite often. So my fuel going in from a tank's right here. That's the line going. I gotta still shorten this up. Fuel coming in. Then there's a vacuum right here. This works off a vacuum, draws off a tank. This pump creates the pressure at 20 psi, 22 psi. That's what it set this thing up. And then it feeds this filter, and then goes through, and it feeds that pump, and then that pump takes over and feeds my head. Guess what? Soon I replace that, boom, no air whatsoever coming through that thing. And I don't know how to set it up. I do it like this. I will start the truck, and you guys will see there's no air whatsoever coming through that thing. You can hear the pump running. So it's Saturday today. On Thursday, I called Baldwin representative for the fuel filters, and I had a discussion with them, and I explained to him what the situation is. I'm getting air off the fuel filter. So he actually gave me a phone number for the Baldwin representative, or whatever the guy knows everything about the filters. He says the filters themselves, if they're on a suction side, they kind of create like cavitation, almost like a turbulence. And there's a screen inside of them. Anytime you shut the truck off, the fuel travels a little bit back, and then you start getting back on. So there's no way possibly to get rid of the air from a fuel filter unless you pressurize the fuel filter, if that makes sense. That's what he told me. That's why I came to conclusion to actually bypass, move the fuel pump over before the filter and see what it does. And believe it or not, it works. It actually, I mean, I can tell the truck runs a lot smoother. So basically what I did, I made my own fast system at this point in time. I still gotta move this wires around to hide them, find a different ground and stuff. But I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Like I said, I gotta shorten that line up, but it actually does work, believe it or not. And I gotta take that tool off. I'm not gonna run down the truck when it goes down the road. So we'll see what happens. I will keep the results updated. Monday I'm gonna go to work and see what it does. I hope the fuel mileage will go up a little bit more and it run a lot smoother. And the fuel pressures on idle right at 100, like 102, 103 psi. It goes down a little bit when it warms up to like a 98, 95, I would say, because fuel gets warmer. It's actually softer. But I checked that. There's no problem with the fuel pressure, if some people thinking. But if you got all your new fuel lines and you have basically the same system, trust me, you're getting air in your fuel system, believe it or not. So thanks for watching.